What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. We're doing something a little bit different today. This is Promo Roast, and it's an idea I had for a while. I'll see if I continue to do it depending on how this video goes. But Promo Roast is essentially where I look at some of the big promos from the past week in the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment, and I basically roast them. Roast might be a too strong a word, but there's going to be roasting on this because promos there's no perfect promo. Even the one that I'm going to be reviewing today that everybody says is a perfect promo, there is no perfect promo, but just knocking every little detail of a promo doesn't, I particularly don't care for that kind of stuff because it's like nitpicking because I make myself look cool because I'm crapping on somebody else that did something. So there's going to be the good, the bad, and the ugly of promos in the world of pro wrestling in this video. And again, if you guys enjoy this kind of content, let me know by hitting the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell, and sharing this video on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, wherever you talk about wrestling and sports entertainment. So with that being said, let's get into it now. Promo roast. This should be fun. What's the first one we got?
Kevin Owens! You challenged me to a one-on-one match at Hell in a Cell, and in my short career, it was the most important match of my life. But I fell short. I didn't get it done. Maybe I was a little too zeked up.
Too zeked up? No, you're a little bit too roided up, my guy. And what happened to your tassels? What happened to the Ultimate Warrior tassels?
But you gotta move forward, and if there's one thing I learned from my older brother Elias, it's that everyone deserves a second chance. So Kevin, I want a rematch next week. Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel.
Why would I give you? I already beat you. You know what? You know what? I'm in such a good mood after beating the hell out of you last night. I'm feeling generous. I got this, boys. We're good. I'm feeling generous. You want a rematch
Alpha
next
Academy.
week? You got it, buddy.
Oh, you got it, champ.
On one condition. You want that rematch?
You know what this
You
is.
need to admit to the world right now that you are Elias.
You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming. You know what? This storyline with Ezekiel and Elias, Ezekiel, whatever his name is, and Kevin Owens is almost to Eugene levels of grading, where it's like there's parts of it that are really funny and really good, but the whole thing kind of feels kind of stupid at the same time. And I think it's Kevin Owens, man. Kevin Owens kind of saves this whole thing because he just, they always talk about just committing to it. He's just throwing himself into it and making this silly thing as good as he possibly can. So again, hats off to Kevin Owens. He will make anything work.
Admit it. Tell the truth, and you get your rematch. You're Elias. Tell them.
So angry.
Shut up, you idiots.
Fess up, man. Fess up.
Okay. You got me, Kev. I admit it.
Whoa, no. That's a good start. It's not enough. No. You admit what? Say it. Say it. And
You're like your school teacher who's like, no. You say the words. You say it now. You tell everybody. Oh my. Kevin Owens is so good.
look at me when you say it. Look at me. Look at me in the eyes. Say it.
Exactly. Look at me in the eyes.
I admit
This dude with the glasses in the front row.
my name is Elias.
I knew it.
He said it.
I knew it. I told you idiots. I told you idiots watching at home. I knew it. I'm not the liar. You're the liar.
What?
You're Elias.
Whoa.
I knew it all along. I'm a genius.
Whoa. KO. Calm it down, bro. You're going to have a heart attack. You a big boy. You're going to have a heart attack. Relax a little bit. Talk to Riddle, smoke some of Riddle stuff, and calm down a bit.
Oh. Okay, so do I have my rematch?
Yeah. You have your rematch. You want me to beat the hell out of you again next week? No problem, buddy. You got your rematch.
Oh, okay. I see where this is going.
Wow. I didn't think it would be that easy. I mean, Kev, I knew you were thick-headed, but that's embarrassing. All I had to do was take a page out of the Kevin Owens playbook.
But what? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
That's the best line Elias Ezekiel has had in this whole program. That was pretty funny.
Kev, I lied. I'm Ezekiel.
Oh, no.
Dropping knee right to the jaw. This dishonesty should not stand.
Okay, not a bad promo segment, not a bad skit there. It's not good either, though. But I mean, the whole storyline going on with Ezekiel and Kevin Owens, it's silly. The point of it, though, is to get Ezekiel over, is to get this new character, this new packaging of him over. Of course, they're going to do twists and turns down the road. He's going to come back as Elias. We've done this before in wrestling, so it's an old wrestling story. It's always been a silly wrestling story. It's never been one of my favorite types of wrestling stories that they do. But again, Kevin Owens is basically making this thing work for me as far as it not being something that I'm rolling my eyes at, because he's just thrown himself into it. And that's what works there. The storyline, though, WWE writers, look, we all know, you have our sympathy. You work for Vince.
The Machine Gun and I stepped foot on together. We won gold. So this title shot at Slammiversary, it's not earned, because we don't need to. It's deserved.
Talk to me, Gallows.
I hate that word. I hate that everybody thinks they
Let's
deserve
just be
shit.
100% honest. The Good Brothers have been all over the world. Gallows,
Yeah.
Gallows, listen to me.
The three
Madison
Gallows?
Square Garden, did we do that?
Did it?
Tokyo Dome Live in Tokyo, Japan, did we do that?
Did it?
O2 Arena in London, England, did we do that?
Did it?
People like the Beatles and Shakira and the Good Brothers headline O2 Arena.
Whoa. Did you just put yourself in the same league with the Beatles and shit? Sorry, Carl Anderson, I love you, my guy. But look, you're not the Beatles, and your hips do lie. So I don't try to prove that they don't lie. I don't want to see that from you.
Did it? Hey, I got one.
Yeah.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, where they declared us the greatest tag team that God ever breathed
People
life
started
into. Remember
booing.
that? We got a
Oh,
trophy.
yeah, we got a trophy for that one. See, listen.
We got a
The
trophy
Briscoe
for that one.
brothers are a
Doesn't
couple
sound
of
proud
bad
of it.
dudes. Like,
That's true.
they've
Respect.
won championships all over the world. They won championships in Japan.
Technically, yeah.
Let's give it to them.
Give it to them boys.
Them boys.
They won championships at Ring of Honor. I mean, the Briscoe brothers have done it all. But I got to be honest, their accomplishments don't really add up to ours, because...
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, titles like, for those two hillbillies greasing up a pig and catching it at the county fair ain't really adding up to us.
No.
It's interesting that Gallows and Anderson, since in their post WWE career, they've taken on the big boying attitude towards their characters. Now they're going around, we're a big boy. They've basically taken their WWE, well, what a lot of WWE superstars tend to feel about the rest of the wrestling world, and now have translated that into their characters as being tag teams in the rest of the wrestling world. It's a new, well, not a new take, but it's an interesting take for them.
No, it's not the same thing. I heard they were duck pin bowling champions at one point.
Yeah, bobbing for apples. They got first place in that.
That's good. They're also the Delaware Tag Team Champions of potato sack racing.
Yeah, we're headlining places like Madison Square Garden, and they're like, on a chicken farm.
Yeah, they're starting to lose the audience a little bit here.
County fairs here and there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
And this promo's starting to turn into chicken shit.
Yeah.
Who else has the legacy? Who else has the lineage? Who else saved?
Lineage? Oh, God. I guess this will be a segment on the show. Let's bring up the promo roast dictionary counter. Lineage, meaning actually lineage. Look, I misspeak all the time on this show too. I'm not going to roast you too hard on that because I misuse words sometimes on this channel. So, but it just that's the thing sometimes when you try to use big words and you're not used to using them.
Tag team wrestling in this century, like the Good Brothers. Nobody, that's who.
Number 10.
Oh God, we're doing a
Our
countdown.
debut in Impact Wrestling at Slammiversary.
Big buy rate.
Huge buy rate, number 9.
Was it?
Oh,
The first time we won the Impact World Tag
You
Team
can peek.
Championship. Another big buy rate.
what do you think number 8's gonna be?
The second time. Another big buy rate.
Wrestling World Tag Team title.
Another big buy rate, number 7. This is a big one.
This is gonna be good.
That time we beat the Briscoes. That time we beat the Briscoes.
Good. That was good. What do you think number 6 will be?
Number 6. Oh, it's the time we beat the Briscoes.
Oh yeah, this is kind of like the beat up John Cena Day thing.
I remember that. What's number 5?
Cinco.
This is
Cinco
a big
being
one.
Good brother.
Oh, it's the time we beat the Briscoes.
Sure did. We beat him.
Okay.
Hey, number 4 is a big one. Number 4 is a big one. Pay attention.
Quattro's gonna be
This is the time we beat the Briscoes.
Okay, the joke's kind of wearing out now.
Number 3. This is my favorite one.
Oh,
right
we
here.
still got 3 more to go.
What's
Yeah.
the time we beat the Briscoes?
Beat the Briscoes.
It's not funny anymore.
Get deep now.
Number 2. Number 2. Oh, it's the time we beat the Briscoes.
Now I'm rolling my eyes.
But guys, listen. This is my favorite one.
Yeah, okay, so that, you know what, they that could have been, they should have done it as top 5, because then it would have been funny. But it was because it was funny the first 2 or 3 times they did it, but then it just, yeah.
Number 1.
Too
Drum
much.
roll. Drum roll.
Here come them boys. Here come them boys.
On here to spoil the fun. Mark and Jay, the Briscoes, the Impact World Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, I guess they're going to have to be an Impact now, because apparently, you know, it's a shame too. I wish they were they could at least participate in AEW's tag division. They are one of the best tag teams of the last decade. This is a very WWE-esque promo, though. It's a very WWE segment. But Impact's always had these two, so. Look at a kid jumping up and down all of that.
So, y'all some real funny dudes. Hey, you know what else y'all is? Y'all boys is soft. You see the difference in us and y'all? We still get up and grind every day.
This is a funny thing I love about the Briscoes. Is the Briscoes are the only country wrestlers that I can think of off the top of my head in wrestling. Because I live in Baltimore, Maryland, so I see a lot of people like this. When country is ghetto country, people who are country as hell, but they're also ghetto as hell, and I have no idea how that happened. But the Briscoes are, you look up country in the dictionary, and you basically will see a picture of the Briscoes.
When we ain't on the road winning titles, we home busting our ass on the farm. Y'all couldn't cut it on the farm, boys.
Y'all boys don't know nothing about what we do, man. Y'all's asses is pampered. You hear me?
We bust our ass, you pamper your ass, boys.
You pamping your ass, boys.
Hey, that's the difference. We grind every day up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it ain't ever gonna stop, man. That's just what we do.
Briscoes are another one of those, kind of like Eddie Kingston, like they've been underutilized in the wrestling industry as a whole.
I'll tell you what you
but
did
they've
wrong.
knocked it out where they've been.
You stepped on our toes coming out here because I was about to show the people our number 1 moment.
We already know what the number 1
in
moment is.
Impact Wrestling.
Stepped on our pop.
Our number 1 moment in Impact Wrestling. Gallows, give me a drum roll. It was that time we beat the Briscoes.
That's right.
Talk to me.
Not their
From
best
Hit Daddy.
segment.
Yeah, comedians. Hey, that's y'all's problem. And that's why we got these and y'all don't.
Okay. Well, again, I like the Briscoes. I've always liked the Briscoes ever since I started watching Ring of Honor again, and that was probably about 10 years ago. And Gallows and Anderson, they've been funny it's like it depends on where they are and what they're doing. Like there's some of the stuff they did in WWE was funny. Some of the stuff they did in ring in New Japan was funny because it was in ring action and they do like little goofy stuff here. Carl Anderson is one of the best wrestlers that, again, talk about somebody who's underutilized. He is a really great singles wrestler. A lot of New Japan fans from 10 years ago can attest to that. I just think this promo was too long. It was too much. It needed to be probably about 5 minutes long, and it would have gotten the point over a lot better, and the jokes would have worked a lot more. Gallows and Anderson are funny. They are funny being just kind of these delusional goofballs, but I think this was too much for me. This is my personal opinion. It's just too long. The countdown, again, I think they should have done with 5, but otherwise, it's okay. Does it make me want to see this match? Not so much, but, it's something that, Impact fans might remember, but I could pass. I could leave it. All right, let's do the one you all want me to react to. This is the big one. MJF's promo from last Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. I'm going to talk about it. There's a lot to dissect in here, so let's get to it. Look at Max. Hottest name in wrestling right now. Yep, the brilliant. Make him wait. Make him wait. Always smart to make him wait.
I'm in a lot of pain right now after what happened on Sunday.
Notice how the crowd is mostly against him at the beginning of this.
But all you people want to do is hear me talk, right?
Yep.
That's what you want, right? You want to hear me talk? I'll talk, but this is Max Friedman talking.
Uh-oh, let's let you know it's a shoot.
Big merger, boss. A lot of important executives here tonight to watch your product. Would be a real shame if something bad happened. I wouldn't want to embarrass you, man. Speaking of embarrassing, you've been trying to sit down with me to hash things out for quite some time now, haven't you? Well, guess what? Too little, too late.
Yeah, he was trying to get his, he's trying to establish, this is why Max is so good at promos, and this is probably more a promo school than promo roast. So he's setting up the foundation of what the promo is going to be about and kind of catching you up on it. This is such a well-structured promo. A little bit of a miss there because the crowd was a little bit too hot, so they kind of were talking over some of what he said, so I'm sure they didn't hear some of what he said. But he's establishing the thing now already by taking the scarf off. This is not a character. This is me talking as Maxwell Friedman. I still think he's in character completely at this point because I think at this point, I don't know about the beginning of it, but this is obviously full-on work now. And he's going to work the crap out of you and still leave that little shadow of doubt in your mind as to whether or not how much of this is a shoot and how much of this is real life work stuff and how much of the stuff is actually part of the show. So let's go.
Here's why. When this company first started, it was all friends wrestling. Everybody was handed a ticket except for me. See,
Wait. Now, this is one thing that I noted in this one. If you go back to All In, the first match of All In on the official pay-per-view, MJF was in. So I'm not so sure about that. They wanted to get him established ASAP. He was the first match on AEW's the idea of AEW, All Elite Wrestling, the very first pay-per-view All In. He was the first match. So.
I had to write my own, and boy do I have good penmanship, because I created moment after moment after moment for this company, and I still get no respect.
That was the moment he started winning the crowd over.
Nobody is on my level. No one. Everything I touch turns to gold. There is nothing I can't do.
Well, there are some things he can't do, of course, but...
Every time I come out here, I am not expected to hit home runs. I am expected to hit grand slams.
Many people have brought this thing up. Again, if this is true, we'll find out later this year. But I'm expected to hit grand slams. Now, we know that AEW is probably going to try to establish the Grand Slam show they had last fall in New York as an annual thing. Wouldn't it be ironic, of course, if you look back at this promo in the future to find out that MJF winds up winning or doing something with the World Championship at the Grand Slam show later on this year? That would be curious to see if that's going to happen or if that was in the plans. That may have changed, though, with the Punk injury, but a lot of people are checking that off in their memory to see if that comes to fruition or something big happens with MJF at Grand Slam this year.
And I do that shit on a weekly basis.
That shit. Use up the swear jar here in this promo.
They get to settle for being great. I have to be perfect because I'm the 26-year-old who is constantly held under a microscope because I'm the only guy who is capable of carrying this company on my back as I have for months.
I'm glad he added the last part for months in there because he wasn't carrying it on his back the whole time.
It's funny. It's funny I hear boos, but I also hear clapping. That's interesting. That's interesting. Where were you guys? Where were you guys this whole weekend when you were calling me an unprofessional piece of shit? I'm just curious.
Now, that's something that, and a lot of people, and myself included, have said this is MJF's pipe bomb, and that is, and there's a couple other things in here that are almost parallel, mirror opposite images to the CM Punk pipe bomb. Because if you remember CM Punk's pipe bomb, he was talking about how there were some people cheering him, and then talking about them coming up to at the airport, asking him to sign a cup so they could sell on eBay instead of getting a real job. So that seemed a nice little, it's a nice little parallel there.
You're not the only problem. No, it's the boys in the back too. Because the boys in the back all want my spot. Well, guess what? You want my spot, you can have it. Because I don't want to be here anymore.
Aww.
Now let's talk about you fans, huh? You people call yourself fans. You're not fans. You're uneducated marks.
Here we go again. The only people who are, but I say this all the time, the only people who use that term are people who are marks themselves, because nobody else knows what you're talking about. But yeah, this is now from the Jim Cornette playbook here. He is playing internet wrestling, anti-wrestling fans role.
Tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit.
I think that's very true. I'd be curious to see if him not showing that fan festival thing had nothing to do with his contract status.
Your opinions change at the drop of a dime, and then you pretend your new opinions are the same as your old. For example,
he stole that from me.
MJF was a good wrestler. Really? That's interesting. Because last time I checked, you guys pretended I sucked in the ring for a long time. And why is that, huh?
That's true.
Because I'm not untrained like all your faves? Because I don't pretend to watch New Japan?
That's the one, obviously, everybody's going to want, people who are subscribers to my channel want to know. Because those of you who've been subscribed to my channel for a long time know I have talked about that quite often, how there are a lot of people for the last couple of years who pretended that they watch New Japan, but as soon as you hear them talk about New Japan and they can't even pronounce certain people's names right or know who's in what faction, or even that somebody's in a group with a tag team with somebody else, or what the championships are called, you can tell that they really don't watch New Japan. And I joked earlier about him stealing my line. I don't really actually think MJF actually bothers watching my stuff, but I just think that there's some of us, that like, you have an idea and then you see that certain other people have the same idea, but it's not like popular. This is one of them. And I've been saying it for a while and other people have been saying it for a while. There are a lot of people out there who pretended they watched New Japan and watched the other wrestling companies and knew about, even goes to Progress Wrestling and stuff like that, but they really didn't watch it, but they wanted to seem cool to say that, oh, I watched this thing that is really hot with other people who know about it, but I want to be cool with them too. I got you, MJF.
Because I don't dump my opponents on their head? Because I'm not reckless? What is it? Is it because I'm not chasing star ratings, guys?
Those last three felt like a jab at Kenny Omega.
How can I possibly be the best? Well, newsflash, I am the best! I'm the best in the world! Because I'm the only guy who makes you feel. And unlike all those boys, I don't gotta do a bunch of bullshit to get you there.
Okay, that line is probably the one I'm most curious about and the one I have most issue with, because he goes, I can make you feel. Now, on the surface, a lot of people are going to applaud that. I'm sure Jim Cornette's like, that's what I've been saying. But here's the thing. The other guys have to do all that quote-unquote bullshit to get you there. But that's the name of the game. It's wrestling. Yes, in their wrestling matches, they should perform wrestling moves in order to get you to feel things. He can do it on the mic. And it's not like one is better than the other or one is essential and one is not. Some people can do it on the mic. Some people can do it in the ring, and some people can do both. MJF happens to be somebody who can also do both because he, as he said before, he is highly underrated as an in-ring talent. Probably more of a TV wrestler than, a main event format wrestler, more of a better TV. Some people have said that about him, but I think it doesn't matter. He's still a good wrestler. He's still a really good wrestler, and he can back it up on a microphone and in the ring. But I do have a little bit of a contention about this whole thing about, well, if you can cut great promos, that's what we need. We need like 1,000 MJFs. If there were 1,000 wrestlers, if all the wrestlers were like MJF, then wrestling would be pretty goddamn boring. So let's he takes advantage of the fact that the era has changed, and because a lot of people are more committed to telling stories in the ring and the body language of wrestling the way it used to be back in the old days, that he's now brought something else back from the old days, which is the very unlikable heel. But at the same time, though, he's also become very likable. But he is right about that. And currently, he is the wrestler in AEW's roster that makes you feel the most. He wasn't always the one, because about a year and a half ago, that was mainly Kenny Omega, the Hangman, and the Young Bucks. Their storied rivalry, that was what made you feel. That in AEW, that was the stuff people were emotionally invested into. And I would also say people were emotionally invested in the Darby Allin at times during his run in AEW. But right now, absolutely, it is MJF who draws the emotion from the audience.
I am a generational talent, and you people consistently take me for granted. But it's not just you. It's the big man in the back, too.
Ooh. Now we're into Act 3 of the promo. Let's go to the boss.
Here's something you guys can't take for granted. Here's something he doesn't want you to know. Do you guys know who the second biggest minute-for-minute draw is in this entire company? Nope, you wish. It's me. It's me. And if you don't believe me, do me a favor. Ask Stat Boy Tony in the back, see what he's got to say. But whatever you do, don't ask him to reach into his pockets and pay the man who's been busting his ass for him since day one.
Yep. Now he's about to win over the whole crowd.
Make sure he hoards all that money. Make sure he hoards all that money so he can give it to all the new ex-WWE guys he keeps bringing in.
That was great.
My goddamn boots.
They can't lace his goddamn boots. He's not wrong about that at all. And that's why that was the truest thing he said in the promo. You're paying all these ex-WWE guys, and he is the biggest star on the show, and he's getting paid far less than they are. It is a good gripe.
Would you treat me better if I was an ex-WWE guy?
That was good. That's good, too. He's on fire, man.
Maybe you don't get it, man. Here's the problem with you, boss. You got a position of power in a wrestling company when the only position you should be assuming is behind the guardrail with all of them.
Again, this is and this is something people have said might be an issue with the promo. Is what I said before, he's doing the anti-wrestling fan troll thing, which you see on the internet a lot with people who who are being contrarians to what are perceived to be the contrarians. So there are fans who are contrarian to WWE and want different kinds of wrestling. And there has been the emergence now of the people who are contrarian to those fans, and that is MJF. And that is what a lot of his promo is. Again, it's the cornet thing, the Disco Inferno thing. You hear a lot of those guys talking about that. You see a lot of trolls online doing that, who are basically shitting on this new generation of wrestling fans who want action in high spots and exciting wrestling matches, and that's what they're interested in. But they've never been in the business. So, of course, this is the old line, Tony Khan being one of those kind of fans, and he thinks that Tony Khan should be in the seats as a fan and not in the wrestling business. I think that's, again, it's a great line on the surface, but when you think about it, like, not everyone, because there's some people that are in the wrestling business, like Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, and Lex Luger, who were not wrestling fans. But a lot of people who, and Baron Corbin too, but a lot of people who got into the wrestling business were big-time wrestling fans. So to say that somebody shouldn't be working in the business because they're a big-time fan and they should be out in the audience, kind of, it's when you think about it, which I know a lot of people don't like thinking these days, but it actually is not really that good a diss. But in the moment, in the heat of the moment, it's a good diss. It's a good line.
I don't want to wait till 2024, but you don't listen to me. So allow me to make it a little bit easier for you. Tony, I want you to fire me.
Yep.
Tony, don't tell me down, you piece of shit. Shut your mouth. Look at me, Tony. Look at me. I want you to fire me. You fire me.
Now, there was a different angle of this I saw from a fan's perspective, and I was looking to see who he was yelling at to say, "Don't count me down." It looked like there wasn't anybody there. It looked like he just kind of made that up or something. I don't know. Maybe there was somebody down on the floor that we couldn't see from that angle. But overall, yes, the MJF Pipebomb, it is one of the best promos of this generation. It is very similar to CM Punk's Pipebomb from in WWE, which, again, the mirror opposites that MJF is to CM Punk. CM Punk being in the big... It's so interesting. CM Punk was this alternate wrestler, this non-WWE prototypical wrestler in the big corporate WWE, punk rock guy talking about how bad that company was. Now you've got the complete opposite of that. You've got MJF, who is a prototypical WWE type of wrestler. People have obviously compared him to The Miz. And here he is in the alternative wrestling, the more punk rock style of wrestling company. But now he's airing grievances against that as the contrarian to the. I love stuff like that. I love little, I love allusions. I love parallels. I love when things kind of have this poetic tone to them. And the MJF Pipebomb and the CM Punk Pipebomb are very much that. And like I said, he did do a lot of things that we saw Punk did in the promo. There's a reference to New Japan. There's a reference to what the way the other wrestlers are and that they can't lace his boots. He's the best. He should be treated as the best, but you're treating these other people better than you're treating me. You know, I want to leave. Maybe I'll get fired. The microphone getting cut off. There's so many similarities between the two. It doesn't take away, though, that this MJF Pipebomb, because of stuff that we are perceiving to be real life things and his real life grievances with his contracts and stuff, or at least what we've been told is real life grievances, are now bleeding into the storyline. So fantastic stuff. There's not much to complain about it. It's a great promo. It will be remembered. And 2022, it is going to be on the highlight. I think everybody's highlight reel of 2022 is going to include not only the feud that MJF had with CM Punk, but MJF's promo. And I think MJF is well on his way right now to being Wrestler of the Year across the board in the pro wrestling and sports entertainment industry. But that is the first edition of Promo Roast. And yeah, the promos this week there wasn't too much to make fun about them this time, but I'm going to try to find some old promos. I might do an edition of this where it's just really bad promos and just roast the hell out of them. But it's hard to roast stuff when it's good. I think the worst promo I saw in this video was the Gallows and Anderson one. The silly Kevin Owens and Ezekiel's a bit silly, and of course we've got a modern classic with MJF. So, but if you like this kind of video, guys, let me know down in the description box below. I'm giving away a Razor Ramon Funko Pop toy. In order to win it, all you have to do is 1, be a subscriber to the channel, and 2, leave a comment down in the description box below with your funniest variation of MJF's pipe bomb. What other lines would you have added? What things you would have said if you were in MJF's position? Let me know. I want to see you guys get creative with your own version of the MJF pipe bomb down in the comment section below. So until then, I'll see you guys here as we continue to talk about more news, rumors, and commentary here on the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.